welcome to today's Adventures of the Windswift. We're back to full complement on board the ship as she has now docked at the wonderful city of Qwethlan. And to tell us more, Dice of Destiny is going to tell us it's number 3. 3 being Tobias. You're up.
Of course it's me. So, last episode on the Windswift, we had a slight diplomatic incident with the Mer people. We couldn't really call it a diplomatic incident. It was more like a diplomatic meeting, where they basically came up and said, "Hey, please don't fight us. The elves are assholes." And we said, "Okay, sure." Paraphrasing. Then we encountered
elves.
More elves, and they were not in a good condition. They were dying badly. By some horrifying disease, implantation horrifyingness. That was disgusting. But we managed to save a couple of them, dropped them off on the shores, and continued on to Qwethlan. And in Qwethlan, we met with the Archon, Archon Varis, and basically put all our cards on the table and said, "Hey, so this is the order."
What up?
Expected to die, but we didn't. So now we have a meeting with Archon Varis and the Lord Archon himself.
Supposedly, yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I think that's about everything that happened.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Only that we saved Riker. Well, Riken will, but yeah.
Riken, that's right.
Yes.
All right, so that is pretty much where our crew finds themselves in Qwethlan. We're waiting for that evening meeting with the Archon and possibly the Lord Archon himself. So what are you doing in the interim? During the interim, whilst the interim occurs, that is to say in the period between now and then. What is happening? What are you doing? Let's start round the clock. So, Con, what are you doing?
So we've finished, what did we have else that we wanted to do? What was else on our list? I mean, where are we? We just walked out of the Archon's chambers, I presume. We're what, standing there.
The secret chamber thing.
Yes.
Is there anything else you need to do in town?
The room.
I think I should probably go and see if Saket has recovered.
All right. Anyone else going in any other direction other than going back to the Windswift to check on Saket, who was in the last episode feeling poorly and helping Hurricane cook stuff?
That's a bad combination.
Something I ate. How much time do we have, approximately?
You got about 4 hours before the dinner thing.
4 hours.
If you want to do anything.
Jork's going to go back to the Windswift and rest.
Yeah, same.
4 hours is a long rest for an elf.
Just gonna chat to 9, and
It's not true.
as usual.
All right.
And
Continue.
then have a short rest, maybe regaining the spell slot.
Sure. Not a problem. I don't think you've actually expended any spells yet.
No, but if I talk to 9, I have to.
That's right. Yes, in order to understand what the little lizard creature is saying.
I'll talk to him, but it will be quite one-sided.
All right, give me an investigation check, if you please.
All right. Yep. That is 13.
13. All right. Well, from this brief 3-hour conversation that you happen to have with 9 whilst on the ship, or however long the conversation happens to last for, one of the things that 9 mentions that seems to well, I don't know what it does for you, but 9 mentions that he personally has been responsible for building 5 of the ziggurats.
Ooh. Can you tell me where they were?
He mentions 5 names which don't make any sense to you whatsoever.
Can I show him a map? I tell him where because he seemed to recognize that city.
He sort of quizzically looks at the map and he points. He points obviously at Shangsas, which is where he was originally before he got pulled here or materialized here in some form or fashion. Then he points to one basically, he points at Qwethlan, but he says that the shape is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's missing. He just keeps saying missing. There's land.
Yeah, like a sunken part of the land that happens sometimes.
Yeah, there's a
Reverse Netherlands.
Yeah, there's a place called Le Solwyn Bay, which he seems to indicate should be full of land rather than empty. He then points to the Gamspire as a ziggurat. He then points to the city of Tekatuman. He then points further north, and again he says missing, but he points to sorry, I can't see it from here, Drakvahod, the capital of the kingdoms of Drakenmoor. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it.
All right. Can you tell me anything more about like what the purpose of the cigarettes are, and like if they're more than places of worship? And I asked him about the obelisk, if that was something they put in there.
They put the obelisks there, but he is Stone Shaper. You know not what to do.
He doesn't know that the obelisk is anything.
Yep.
I don't think by now we have sort of we chat quite now and then quite a lot.
Yeah.
And just becoming sort of buddies, maybe.
Yeah. Learning to interpret one another. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, the hours whittle away as the five of you... Oh, are you doing something, Blackson? Sorry.
Apparently not.
You can if you like, but I thought no one else was doing anything.
Well, 4 hours, I would like to use them at least since we're already in the headquarters to get some money for everybody. Doing my duty and thing.
Yes.
Yay.
And then while we're still friendly with everybody, see what's going on in the markets.
All right, so that's what you're going to go and do. Not a problem whatsoever. The markets, the main thing that comes across is that it is all about importing steel, and the steel is coming in from the dwarves, but there has been a problem. The ships are not getting through. The merfolk are stopping everything from happening.
Right. So
Steel
that's interesting.
is the most valuable commodity in Qwethlan.
Good. And then the last thing is a question more regionally or geographically or politically, if you will.
Sure.
This is a big city because one of which is the headquarters of the orders.
Yes.
The headquarters where the leader of the Elvish kingdoms, is it also here?
No.
Yeah.
The capital of the Empire of Athane Basul is rather far away from you, as a matter of fact. It would be probably about a week's sail. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if it's the same city, if they kind of, or if it's like a different situation. But that's all I wanted to know. All right.
No, absolutely. All right. Tobias, you doing anything? Jarek doing anything? No.
Resting.
Okay. All right. Well, then. Sorry, Con, yeah?
I get back to the ship, find Siket, and fill her in on this rather significant meeting we've just had. Which went surprisingly well, actually. And now we have a further exploratory meeting this evening.
Yes.
Aboard the
bound to go really well.
Archon Varis's vessel.
Right. On his vessel.
Yes.
Is that really that safe?
Well, we'll be there.
Yes. Again, will that be safe?
Maybe not for other people. Try not to let off any premature lightning bolts.
Do I ever do such a thing?
It was
Ever?
a diplomatic incident that was caused by some premature lightning.
It's all fine now, maybe.
I think it was sort of mature lightning. It was well thought out lightning. Ancient lightning. Lightning that's got its driver's license.
There we go. So the hours tick by, and eventually it is the due time when you should head over to the Archon's large warship, which is in harbour, resplendent in all of its glory. Its great 3 masts standing gigantically over the smaller vessels. Even some of the Elvish ships are dwarfed by the scale of his ship. And his aide, the wizard, if you recall, very politely shows you in and says, I've been informed of what you're planning on doing, and I have secured a small room. It's adjacent to the conference room where the Archon will be meeting with the Lord Archon, and it's been prepared in such a way that you should be able to hear what's going on. I trust everything will be all right. I've also taken the liberty of organizing a light snack. It depends on how long this meeting goes for. I hope that's satisfactory.
So different than last time, I will not give away my weapons, and I am fully armed here. Just saying, because usually I'm not in armor, I'm not with my halberd, and yada, yada, yada.
Exactly right. All right. Is everyone armed, I'm assuming?
Yes, I think I brought one of the lightning staffs as well.
I'm always armed.
Just so that I can do something if something happens.
Something goes wrong, goes wrong, goes wrong.
Yes.
Well, you are taken into the side room, and you notice that this room originally was probably designed very specifically for what you are about to do. There are large windows inset into the one wall that look into the banqueting, well, not banqueting, it's a large dining room with this very ornate red table in the dining room itself. You can look in and you can hear the servants who are busy placing out knives and forks, using little measuring rules to make sure that they're all separated at the right distance and that sort of thing. You can hear them muttering about all this malarkey for 2 people. Sort of seems a bit of a waste, really, and normally the Archon has dinner in his quarters, and you can hear them as if they were right next to you. So there's obviously a lot of things going on that allows for this to happen.
I'm going to, while we're waiting, I want to cast Mage Armor on myself and Saket.
All right.
It lasts for 8 hours, and it makes your base AC 13 plus your Dex modifier.
Right. You can cast Mage Armor on someone else?
Yes, it's a ranged touch a willing creature.
All right. Perfect. Just making sure. So
They just can't be wearing armor, so that's the only...
100%. 100%. All right. So 13 plus Dex is now your new armor class. Fantastic. It's not long before the Archon walks into the dining room, and he has played this game before, because at not one point does he even glance in your direction at all. It really is as if that is a solid wall and he's ignoring it as much as he is ignoring the rest of the walls in that particular room. For half an hour, nothing happens, and he paces, and again, his nerve holds. He doesn't look in your general direction, but he seems a little bit agitated until eventually the door is pushed open and this incredibly old elf is shown in. He has these very gaunt cheeks and very deep-set eyes with these very black rings underneath them. Con, give me a medicine check, if you please.
Aye, aye.
Yeah.
That is 24.
If you were a betting man, you would say that this elf is perhaps 800 or 900 years old. He is right at the extent of his lifespan. That means that he was alive and serving when the dragons were in power. And that means that he's obviously incredibly hardy, because something that most of the longer-lived races remember still is that the dragons were not particularly kind masters and didn't really care what sort of nutrition their underlings were getting. So to have survived this long means he is someone who knows how to stay alive. He walks with this very short, gnarled cane, which he leans quite heavily on. And he wears these very light blue robes with gold trim around the edges. And he walks straight from the door. You can see he's got two very large bodyguards standing without, wearing big plate mail. And he immediately goes to the chair that the Archon pulls out for him, allows him to take a seat. And then the Archon sits next to him at the table, and they start exchanging pleasantries. The Archon starts exchanging pleasantries. Almost instantly, the Lord Archon waves a very arthritic hand, silencing him, and demands to know why has he been invited here. To which the Lord Archon reports that he has been into the engine room, and he has looked inside the engine of his ship, and he has seen things that call into question everything that the Order stands for, and he wants to know why. The Lord Archon stares at him quietly for probably a good minute before eventually answering. Are you all just waiting? You're not going to do anything?
Am I going to run through the wall for this?
I don't know.
We're just biting.
I'm
searching desperately for popcorn.
Okay, so if you want to know what I'm doing, I'm looking, I'm listening, and I'm intently interrogating him with my eyes. I have one of these. Right?
What he said.
All right.
One thing
Warwick is
that
trying not to hold his breath.
Yeah. But if anything changes, I will let you know.
All right. The Lord Archon leans forward and very quietly says, "Why did you bother looking in the engines? I should have your head for that. Action on its own." The Lord Archon explains that he has had information brought to him which caused him to doubt, and he felt it in the best security and interests of the Order to check. The Lord Archon then says, "Have you met the head of Section 13, I wonder? Dear Archon." To which the Archon reports he has not. "Then, considering the fact that you now know what lies at the heart of our Order, I think it is time that you knew everything. You will journey with me back to my inner sanctum, where you will meet the Order representative and, once and for all, learn how this Order operates."
So
And
here's a
then-
question.
Yes.
Is the mage assistant with us, or are we on our own?
You're on your own at this point. The mage assistant is elsewhere.
Great.
But there is a door behind you that you suspect if you open, you could probably call him. And there are those speaking horns present in this ship as they are in the Windswift.
It's too late already for that. All right.
The Lord Archon finishes his sentence by saying, "And then once you have met with Section 13, you will learn our true nature. And you will understand why we need the engines. Is that all?" he says as he starts to rise very shakily. Oops. The Archon, in a moment of, is it panic? You don't know. He glances at you five, because this is not what he had planned, and he has no real reason not to follow the Lord Archon's request. All five of you can give me an insight check, please.
18.
16.
18.
Simon?
22.
Oh.
Insightful people today.
Oh, you are all watching.
I told you.
I have no clue because I got like 11.
All right. So the four of you, immediately,
Hello,
the moment
children.
the Archon looks at the wall, the Lord Archon's eyes shoot across to the wall and then straight back to the Archon. And you see the smallest of muscle twinges in the Lord Archon's very, very gaunt cheek as he seems to smile, that he now knows something is up. He then rises. Then you will journey with me to our tower, Archon. There is no need to delay. We must ally your suspicions.
Okay, so here's a question. We did talk about this, or we broached it in the past. Casting spells on other people, are they aware that they're being cast upon? I mean, aside from Fireball, which is quite obvious. But...
You're probably aware of fireballs.
Yes, if you trying to mind control or cast sending, people are aware of it. Yeah,
but none of the like. The special thing I'm looking about is right now is Hunter's Mark, which allows me to track somebody, which allows me to hurt them even more.
Does Hunter's Mark give the target the compulsion to want to attack you only?
Nope. I just get better at hitting them and better at tracking them.
All right. No, in that case, then it would not trigger. They wouldn't be aware of it.
Now the question for me is, and I don't know which is better, do it on the Lord Archon or the Archon, right?
I mean, just in case he has some way of noticing, probably the Archon.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but I have other ways of tracking things, and I would if I really...
The Lord Archon walks slowly, so whilst you're discussing this, they're making their way towards the door.
All right, so what I will do, I will not cast either of those spells. What I will do is I take a closer look at what the Lord Archon is wearing. Like he said, he has this gnarly staff, right? Does he have any jewelry on him?
He doesn't seem to wear any whatsoever, aside from, like I said, that sky blue robe with the gold trim. He has that staff. You can see his slippers that he wears underneath his robes they're a dark blue to offset the light blue robe.
Okay. And the Archon himself, is he wearing anything that I would think he would not easily lose?
Oh, yeah, the Archon has got his signet ring on, his one finger.
Fine.
He's got, yeah.
All right, so what I'll do is I'll cast Locate Object on the robe of the Lord Archon.
Nice.
Which gives me a way of seeing, oh, he's going this way. He's, know where he is.
Unless he strips naked.
Right, but I think that he's not going nude anytime soon.
No!
I'm invisible!
And he doesn't know it, as we kind of spoke about.
We should
All right.
probably get off the ship first.
First?
If they're going slowly, we get off the ship first. And
They are going slowly.
Okay, sure. I mean, I follow you lead that, but that's what I will do. Okay, so if that's the case, if you want to get off the ship, if we want to get off the ship first, I'll not do it right now because
no. Sorry, you misunderstand. I mean, we must get off the ship before them, not before your spell.
Yeah, but I will. The spell hasn't like 8 hours of time it works, right? So
we could.
I'm not doing, but that's my plan. I tell them that I will be able to track one of them at least, hopefully, and
I can always also follow them in a more discreet form,
right,
if need be.
Right,
Probably
but then
good.
we haul out.
Just don't choose a cockroach. Someone will tread on you. Attempt to.
It's
pretty hard to kill,
As
actually.
you are leaving the room, the mage comes up to you and he says, I wasn't aware that the Lord Archon was going to take the Archon back to the center. I thought that they were going to stay here.
Neither were we. The situation is evolving.
Should we be worried for the Archon?
Yes.
Probably.
Be prepared. On your guard.
And
Just follow.
just help my memory real quick. He said he knows what's up. Like the mage dude knows what's up, right? All right. Okay. So yeah, I'll just give him like the Lord Archon wants him to take him to Sector 13. I'm like, that sucks. Like,
We want to take him back to meet the head of Sector 13 at least. Depending on where
we will
he is.
see the truth.
Okay.
I just tell him that maybe one thing is if the mage has the opportunity to shield any mind-altering magic on the Archon, he should be thinking about such things.
Those usually take some time to prepare. We didn't anticipate. I'll do what I can, he says. You know the way out, and then he rushes off down the passageway, shouting for his page, whoever that might be. You make your way off of the ship fairly simply. It is a much bigger ship than Windswift. She's probably 3 times the size with multiple decks. You get quite happily out onto the dockside, and then?
Well, the idea I had was that we obviously get ourselves out of sight, position ourselves so that we can pick up their trail when they come off the ship.
Yeah, I think maybe Con, you can track him as easier than any of us. Otherwise, as long as they're in the city, maybe. And then once maybe you're not able to follow anymore, maybe if necessary arise, I maybe can help him a little bit.
I can always duck behind a stack of barrels and become a dog.
If Blacksmith's magic loses track of him, I'll send you a message.
Right.
Right.
So the idea is basically then, if I understood this correctly, I just want to be sure, like, if we have a little bit more time to talk about it,
Yes.
right? That Con, you follow him and we follow you basically, and once you're like perking up or whatever, and we know, okay, something is up, and we kind of need to do other means of following.
Send the flare. What flare? Yeah.
I suppose you could always cast your hunter's mark on me.
Right, but I don't want to nip you in the butt, so seeing might
Probably
just
better
be
to cast
sufficient.
an Archon in that case.
Yes, seeing you should be sufficient, right?
Well, in that case, I surreptitiously find a quiet spot to transform into a dog.
Gods, I hope the head of Sector 13 is just a really persuasive gnome.
Right, because they don't have any crazy experimenters with them that does any...
I'm just saying that's the best case scenario right now.
This sucks, man.
You wait and watch as Con has turned into a dog. What kind of dog, Con? Because that
Kind of dog.
One that blends into the local...
A Snoop Dogg.
one that blends into the local surroundings.
Like a little scruffy terrier or something.
Yeah, like a
You're
Yorkshire
an elf.
Terrier, maybe.
There
Has a little
Sorry,
moustache.
what?
You're in an elvish city, so the best that you can come up with is one of these very long-haired, kind of like an Afghan, very beautiful, silky-looking dog. That's the best you're going to get here. There are no sort of lower levels in Qwethlan where there are butts and mangy packs running around. This is not a human city. This is an elvish city.
So what you're saying is
Pocket Yorkshire Terriers that go in people's bags.
less than practical.
Yeah,
Chihuahua.
the elves are illogical people. You wouldn't have an illogical animal. So the silky-haired dogs are very protective, very, very, very fast. So you could turn into one of those, I suppose.
Yeah.
Could just turn into a rat or a mouse.
Has its challenges.
Mm.
All right.
So what you're saying is turning into such a dog would make me actually conspicuous in the streets?
If you turned into a mongrel or a mutt,
No, one of the silky dogs.
Oh, quite possibly as well, because usually they're being walked by slaves.
Fuck. May just do something.
Could one of us go with him? I mean, I'm an elf. Walk the dog.
You could, I suppose.
I could cast invisibility.
Ooh.
That's good. Who you going to cast it on? Maybe then...
Cast it on Con once he's turned into a dog. Then that way he won't be a suspicious dog.
Well, cast it on Yorick. He can tell us when anything is going on.
Out of all of us, I might be the stealthiest one because I'm actually proficient in it.
Oh.
But
Same
then
here,
again,
actually.
animals
I
are
have a
stealthy.
heavy armor, so not me.
Here's something.
Invisibly, shing, 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 shing.
But being followed by suspicious noise.
I can be sneaky if that's what you want.
What about
And
cats?
he can tell us, right? So
Yes, also Jurek is the one who can also fight
Teleport.
a little bit. All right, I'm going to cast invisibility on Jurek, and you can follow.
That's good.
Cats.
Nice.
I like.
Check
By the
him.
way-
Be careful. Don't die, please.
Yeah, cats within the Empire of Athane Vasul are almost non-existent. They are a Sagetti animal. The Sagetti almost worship them as gods. Therefore, the elves of Athane Vasul see them as being illogical, irrational creatures that don't know whether they want in or out or up or down. They're just a waste of
Both. They want both.
they're exactly. And the elves of Athane Vasul don't deal with quantum, so they want
And they have a lot of rats everywhere because they don't like
as
cats.
a result. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so Jorik, you turn invisible and you start following. Now,
Following them, yes.
as they depart the ship, you see that the Lord Archon is standing on this shimmering blue disc, which hovers just about a foot above the ground or so. Anybody who's got Arcana knows that he's cast Tensor's floating disc. And it's just basically floating on this thing. It's obvious enough. It's not one of the special elvish floating discs. And pushing it, pulling it, you're not entirely sure what it is, are those two figures that you saw outside the room, those heavily armored figures, except that you realize that they're constructs. They're not actually people. And they stand 9 foot tall, as they seem to almost unpack themselves as they step out of the ship, extending to their full height. It basically looks like animated plate mail just for a giant, walking in front and behind him. And the sort of blue energy crackles across the front of their helmet, reminiscent almost of an eye sort of sweeping across the space in front of it and behind it.
Is one of their name Kit?
It walks along. These two figures accompany the Lord Archon as the Archon sort of walks next to him, politely trying to make conversation. But of course, the Lord Archon is an old elf, so that is unlikely to happen. They don't see any of you because you're not standing in plain sight. And of course, Jorik, you are invisible. So the four of you, how far behind are you going to follow?
100 meters, maybe?
You know where they're going. They're going back to headquarters.
Yeah.
So with a logical thing, I assume the layout of this is somewhat like American cities, which is like except in squares, it's more like a pie of. So maybe we can just move the next side over if we kind of know where direction where we're going. We stay out of sight, but fairly close as well.
Yeah.
All right. Not a problem. Not a problem.
Otherwise, there's no point in Jorik.
Correct. Correct. It takes quite a while for you to move from the ship back to the main tower. For the four of you, it's slightly more interesting because you're navigating walkways through gardens, trying to figure out how to get from point A to point B without being seen. For Jorik, it's just this very slow walk as the disc hovers and everyone sort of keeps pace with it. When they arrive at the base of the tower of the grand tower that houses the city, they obviously go inside it, and that's where the four of you are then pulled up short by the guards outside. They're not going to pay you much attention. They know you belong to the order, but where are you going to go from there?
So do we know where they're going to enter? Is there just one entry point, or is that the section?
There are a couple. Yeah, there are a couple entry points into the actual tower itself. But basically, once you get to the level where the offices of the Hastari start, there is only that one set of big brass doors that everyone rubs as they walk in.
So that's basically like the open air section where you can go in from different directions, and which leads then to like the ninja.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I guess we head over to the people we ignored before, which were standing and they close to it and now chat them up. I mean, that's where I want to go, like just like randomly chat up anybody who is standing nearly there and just like, oh, we are order people. We're supposed to be here.
All right. That's not a problem. You do that. You happen to bump into... where is it? I've lost the name. The name is...
And the next time we come across, see our quarry, I now decided on whom I want to actually track.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
Also, as we go, I kind of want to tell everybody else what I've learned from 9 about the cigarettes.
Okay.
that he was there building the ones, and that there's supposed to be one in La Solwyn Bay somewhere, right next to Qwethlan.
1 hour.
1 hour? That's how
I
long
asked the question in chat.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
So, yes, there is a group of people there. They look very nervous. They look very worried. There's 4 captains standing in a cluster in this room. Like I said, they look very, very nervous.
How is it? Hello, fellow teenagers, no captains.
They look over at you lot. You realize that these guys, well, at least 2 of them anyway, are from the ship known as the Brentier, which is a ship responsible for the Graith territories. And one is a gnome, and the other one is actually one of the strange serpent folk from the Assisi Kingdom.
Ooh.
The gnome looks at the 4 of you and says, "Oh, I wasn't aware that you were you were here. It's fantastic. What is it?" Well, we thought it was important, so when we asked for people to come and volunteer, we didn't expect someone to come all the way from Sajetti, though. That's rather unusual.
Well, I was just
volunteer for what, exactly?
Oh, we were assigned a mission in our territory. We're part of, the Brentier, she serves the Graith territories, obviously. Obviously.
I've got some questions about the Graith Empire at the moment.
Well, that's rather interesting. I'm not entirely sure how you knew anything about the Graith Empire, considering that's our territory to domain, and yours is the Sajetti Empire, and I don't have any questions about the Sajetti Empire. But
it's a long story.
About them too, but I mean,
you're talking very fast. Are you running away from something?
I'm not talking very fast. I don't think I'm talking very fast.
No,
just gnome speak.
Well, nonetheless, we were sent to investigate. There was a strange affliction that's currently rampaging through the Graith territories. Very, very strange. I must admit, it's very on the down low within the Empire, of course. But once we found out about it, we thought we needed to come back and report it straight away to headquarters because it's something that's very important as far as we're concerned. And,
are they turning into lizards?
Aye, how did you know that? They've lost most of their fur. They look like a bunch of bloody skinned mutts ronding around. Very pathetic, if you ask me.
They're turning into lizards.
No, not really lizards, so much as their hair seems to be falling out, and they've got these strange pustules of vileness all over the place. Very strange. They were very proud people, you know that. Very, 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 very proud people. Very conscientious too. Very neat, very concise. And now all of a sudden there's this hair loss that's just going on. It's very, very, very strange.
Like mange?
Aye, something like that. Absolutely. Mange is a pretty good actually.
So no scales. No scales.
I thought that was the gnomes anyway.
To be perfectly honest with you, we didn't get very close enough to see if they got scales or not.
Why does the Order care about it if it's like an intrinsic problem of the Graith Empire?
Yeah, surely this is good that the Graith Empire is suffering.
Well, yes. Well, absolutely, except that they've started to build some strange structures around the anchors within their territories. Nothing, mind you, that infringes upon the rights of the anchors at the moment, of course, otherwise the Order of the Anchors would be involved, of course, and they're not at the moment, as far as we know, anyway.
What kind of strange structures?
I dig in my medical bag and hand him a little packet. Can you please have some of this?
Disinfecting wipes.
He opens up the packet. What is it? Is it something that's going to help with the Graith?
Calm your nerves.
What nerves? Who's nervous? I'm not nervous. Are you nervous?
Mm-hmm. I'm a doctor. Just do as I say.
Trust me.
Trust me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are they sort of little cakes of Valium?
Little nothing quite so strong. A little herbal remedy.
Oh, he sort of chews. These are quite good, actually. These are rather nice, actually. And he sort of starts munching.
Those will be the berries.
Well, we were just hoping that someone might come along who's got some more medical knowledge to understand this thing. The structures that they're busy building around the anchors are about a mile or so about away from the anchors. And, well, like I said, they haven't started to really violate any of the anchor rules and that sort of thing, but they are building rather large towers surrounding most of the anchors out in that territory. We thought we'd report that to the anchors people, but we haven't been able to find anyone from the anchors people, of course, because they all seem to be rather busy. So, well, that's why we're here at the headquarters, and that's why we asked for the medical expert to be summoned to come forth and to help consult us with this problem, because we think that it's rather unusual and rather strange that the Great are starting to lose all of their head all of a sudden.
I'm pretty sure this guy's name's Blur.
Golfin, actually. My name is Golfin.
Remarkable.
Captain Golfin, and this is Captain Fiss. And he doesn't say very much. A very strange fellow, very quiet. And can't for the life of me imagine why he's so quiet, but nonetheless.
I feel like we've talked with these for hours now. So
5 hours.
Had 4 hours of conversation in the space
In 10 minutes.
And are the Greys building up any navies or any other sort of things? And yes, are they doing that?
Can't say that I noticed anything of it while we were sailing away from the Great Territories. It's at this point that Fiss leans in. Now, the lizard folk, the serpents of the Assis's kingdom, are a very strange bunch of people. They're all cold-blooded, and that's not a racial slur. It's an actual fact. They are indeed cold-blooded. How their biochemistry works to keep them at the intelligent functioning level is absolutely unknown. There hasn't been enough studies on it. He leans forward and with this very yellow eye with dagger-like black slits in the middle of them, stares at all of you, and then he stares at you particularly, Saket. What do you know about the ships of the Graith?
I know that a Graith spy that was spying on the Sageti Empire told its ambassador father to be very interested in Buckingham Gulf, and I'm pretty sure the Sageti are up to something involving the Grace, but that's as I know. Yeah.
What
their ships appear
to do with the ships?
Their ships appear to have means of locomotion unknown to most of the rest of the world. No sails.
They're metal, they're small,
yes,
and they're fast.
We've been on one.
Have we?
Impressive.
No, you're not.
Before your time, Saket.
Okay.
We saw several of these unusual vessels. We were uncertain as to their purpose.
They're quick. Really quick.
I'm sure they are.
Where did you see them? Under what circumstance?
And yes, there's that whole the ambassador went a bit rogue, and they were supposed to. Has it been a week yet, guys?
Two.
Fuck. Sorry, Blackston. We should discuss this later.
Should we?
Most of those vessels are near the Sajala Memner Ocean.
Right. Okay. What the fuck are they doing there?
Why does it matter?
Yorick, you are following the group. You walk past the four captains, deeply involved in a discussion with a serpent man and a gnome who has...
prior to walking inside the headquarters, I will drop my teleport anchor outside, just in case everything goes to hell.
How much,
peace!
How much time has passed since I cast the invisibility?
Probably about 40 minutes.
Then I probably should recast it, but I can't unless you tap me on the shoulder.
Right?
You don't even know where he is.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I'm gonna ask. Does Jorek know how much time has passed?
Yeah, you know that it's about 40 minutes.
Then I'll probably nudge Adrasai, and as I walk past,
Hey! Oh, there you are! Invisibility! So, if he's with us, where's the Archon right now?
They're currently walking past you lot.
All right.
But somehow no one heard that little interchange between Adrasai and the air.
they were busy listening to the wheezing of the snake thing.
The snake
maybe.
thing, yes.
These various military movements are troubling. The more
He's very... Sorry, go ahead.
chaos in the world, the easier it is for the servants of the dragons to take advantage. The nations of the world are going to war. We have a problem.
It seems so. The gnome has sat down in a chair and is basically just looking straight ahead of him with this slightly glazed look on his face.
It was the wrong package.
He seems to have calmed down a little bit, although you can see his eyes are moving. He's thinking about something. You're not sure.
The eyes are like this big.
Yeah.
It looks like a koala bear. Like,
Yes,
How
I
far
follow
are
them
you going
inside.
to follow, because they lead down the central passage and past that door that led to the sealed room and to a set of very large double doors at the far end.
I will follow as close as I can.
Do we have a general idea of where to go once he's off followed? I mean, do we know where the High Archon's tower is relative to where we're standing now?
or the Sector 13 for that, or the
when
magic.
Jorik sends his message saying, come, do we actually know which way we're going?
You haven't got a clue where Sector 13's tower.
I mean, the Archon of Sector 13's, the bureau of him, or the offices, or...
Well,
We're going to the Lord Archon's tower.
Lord Archon's offices are behind those double doors right at the end of the passageway.
right, but as far as we know, they're going to Sector 13's lead investigating scientist person.
Oh, that could be off-site. We don't know that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm confused, because the Lord Archon was saying you have to come back to my tower?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, to my sanctum, inner sanctum.
Right. So that's where they're going now,
That's where you assume they're going. Sure.
presumably.
So as they passed us, I just nudge, I guess, Adrasai, and just like strike up a casual conversation with her, and just like seemingly to follow them because we have business in that general direction, and keeping like not like trailing them basically, but like far enough away so we're just like generally following them.
Yes.
Alright.
Just sort of having a sort of muttered, intense discussion about something while we're walking, sort of.
Yeah.
That leaves Saket with Fiss and Con with Golfin as Blackstone and Adrasai start walking down the corridor.
I'll let them get a bit of distance. So we're not all walking in a group trying to look casual. Act casual.
So we're not doing the Sagetti thing. Form discrete groups.
Yes. Discrete group Gamma 5.
Yeah.
Joy.
Engage.
So
Move casual forward.
did you get? Did you see which way the grey ships were heading? Other than where they were at that time, like what direction they were going in?
We were not monitoring their positions, nor their movements.
Did you see any of the Sagetti ships in the near vicinity by any chance?
You have not been to the Grace territories, I see.
No.
One does not see any other races present within their territories.
Right, that's good, I think.
These vessels look like they were gathering.
They did not seem hampered by this mange plague, which seems to have affected the majority of their populations.
Really? That widespread?
That is why we are here. It seems to be national.
Is it affecting any other species, animal species?
You do not hear my conversations with the Sagetti.
No, I hear you, but the Graith have beasts of burden. They have other creatures in their... Are any other species in the land affected?
I had not considered that, but now that you mention it, I seem to recall strange new beasts of burden being employed. Golfin, did you see anything? The gnome sort of looks up. Well, you know, I remember there was, probably, yes. I think they were changed too. The trees as well were they weren't as verdant as they usually are.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
But as Fizz said, none of them seem to be particularly perturbed by any of it. They all seem to be quite, going
Happy?
about their business as if nothing had happened.
The Graith.
Aye, but remember, we don't get to go down to their territories. We watch from a good half mile above the surface, so that's as close as we could get, if you know what I mean. There's been no draconic rumours whatsoever from any of our contacts. The Furus seems to be in quite the good mood, so everything seems to be ticking over as it,
So there's no sign of a public emergency?
You'd expect to see tents have been set up and, healers wandering around and great big graves dug for the corpses, but they don't seem to care very much. And there don't seem to be many corpses either.
Okay, no corpses. That's good.
So not a disease. Or at least
We
not
did
as
not
infectious.
spend sufficient time to form any analyses of the situation.
Fascinating.
We do have a sample aboard our vessel.
A
Hence,
sample.
asking for medical support.
When you say sample, what exactly do you mean by sample? Did you pierce one of the boils and take the pus? Because that's really yucky.
We have a Graith corpse with us.
Oh,
How did it die?
surely that's starting to smell.
We are uncertain. We were on an island in the far west of the Graith Empire. We came across this corpse.
How have you been storing it?
Nice, please say it nice.
We have certain techniques unique to our species
I see.
that ensures corpses remain consumable for an extended period of time.
Well, as long
Nice.
as it's not presenting a contagion risk to the population of this city or indeed the rest of the land mass, I suggest you keep it where it is.
We took precautions. None of our crew have exhibited any signs. This has been over a week of exposure to the corpse.
Right. No one thought about incubation periods there, did they?
Jorik, you get to the large double doors, and those massive warriors push the doors open, and the entourage floats in. Do you go in behind them? Give me
Is
a,
this
give me
the
a perception
room?
check. This is the main room of the Lord High Archon.
Okay, so it's not the room that we were in.
No. In the
Okay.
City of Secrets.
Mm. Did you ask me for a check, did you
A
say?
perception check, if you so please.
A perception. Perception. Don't suck. Oh, 23.
The room appears to be very ornately decorated, but there are glyphs everywhere.
Shit. Do the armors stay outside or do they step inside?
They stand on either side of the doorway. Outside.
Outside. Yeah, no, I don't follow inside.
All right. You see Blackston and Adrasai walking down the passageway with great intent, heading towards the door, and then they kind of get to the door and pause and chat for a little bit outside. As I'm assuming you guys watch this group heading inside.
All right, before the door closes.
Yep.
I will cast Hunter's Mark. And I will cast Hunter's Mark on the Archon, our Archon, not the Lord Archon.
Sure.
For now. So I need to be within 90 feet. I assume I am if I'm inside.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I walk up to Adrasai and tap their shoulder and can you undo this thing? It's kind of unsettling.
The door's sealed
shut. To you, like.
Sure, just maybe not in sight of everyone.
Fine.
I don't think the constructs care. So what is the office we're standing in front of, just talking casually?
Oh, you sort of look up. It appears to be a logistics office.
Great, open it.
You open it. This very smartly dressed young woman. For a moment, you think it's Lieutenant Ty because she looks very officious and very, very sure of herself. She looks up and she glances at the three of you and says, Captain Blackston.
Yeah, hello. Sorry, you have me at a disadvantage. You are...
I am Memria, the logistics officer for this building. I'm uncertain as to why you're here.
Well, I'm actually coming here to talk because we need to resupply our ship, and I thought you, as you are, as a local, you know a little bit about like who to talk to and for these things, and I'll try to get her gaze on me so if somebody plops into existence, you know, like what?
Oh, you get her undivided attention because yes, this is most odd that someone would speak to her aloud in her office, as a matter of fact. All right, so that's what you three are doing. Back to the two of you.
Well, this is fascinating, and hopefully we can pick this up later, but I have something pressing to do. Basically, my plan is to, on seeing that, they've obviously gone into somewhere we can't follow them. I don't know what Jark's doing. I can't see him.
No.
I'm going to find the water closet or something, a cloakroom.
Right.
Turn into a mouse and attempt to gain access to the Lord High Archon's office. Before doing so, I will whisper this plan into Saket's ear.
Oh, okay, right.
Oh,
We have to go, but it'd be lovely to meet up with you later and
Good luck with your
things
medical
further.
examinations.
Oh, yes. And do let us, either be involved in that autopsy in some safe paradigm, or let us know how it goes.
We are waiting for skilled medicine before we begin anything.
Well, that's always a very wise idea. Can I also suggest that they make sure they don't get contaminated in any.
Well, if you have any trouble finding anyone, let me know.
We are letting you know.
Oh,
Seems
right.
a lot of vessels are engaged currently.
Well, I will attempt to come and visit your ship this evening if my engagements for today don't completely
go completely pear-shaped.
Excellent.
Jolly good. See you later, captains.
You head off. You turn to a mouse. Would you please give me a stealth check, Con? As you have advantage because you are a mouse.
With mouse stats.
Yes.
I think mouse.
If you've ever seen a city mouse go, they're very fast.
Yeah.
All right, Mickey, get it going.
What's 18?
18. All right. You reason that there must be air ducts in here somewhere, so you try and find those, or at least there's the speaking horns.
Services of something. Yeah,
Well,
plumbing.
speaking horns
Whatever.
everywhere. So you rattle along these passageways, you're hearing these
It echoes throughout the
everywhere.
entire headquarters.
Yeah. Someone is having a conversation. They start to hear, no, you're breaking up. No, there's interference on the line. No, back again. Wait,
Can you hear me now?
Somewhere there's a janitor getting some sort of plunging device going, there's rodents in the pipes again.
Exactly. It's a giant syringe of liquid. Yeah, that brings back memories. All right. Well, you happen to pop out into the Lord Archon's chambers. As you do pop out, you see him, the old Lord Archon, going over to a rather ornate-looking circular table, and he places his hands upon the table, and the entire table illuminates. And as it does so, this visage appears as almost like a... Looks like...
Is it like the
it's
Star
like
Wars 2
hologram.
thing?
Yeah.
Star Wars fifth,
Like
is it fifth?
but it's an
episode?
hologram, right? Yeah, so this sort of face appears, and it's blurry. You can't really see what it is, but you can definitely see these two very bright red eyes in the center of this head-like shape.
Bright red eyes, never good.
Yeah, it's like why choose a color, right? It
Quite telling.
stares quite intently at the Archon, and okay, you see the Archon take his hand, and he takes it to a necklace that he has around his throat, and he lifts the necklace off and drops it on the floor. It's at that point that those red eyes then flare quite brilliantly, and the Archon drops to his knees and just stares at this red-eyed creature thing.
Everything is
quite some
fine.
time. Are you doing anything?
The door, what does it look like from the? I mean,
Very large, heavy double doors.
is it a mechanism-operated affair? Is there like
You
is it a
suspect that
push?
those giant golems push the doors open and close them.
So I would probably, in my human form, struggle.
Yeah, you'd have to pull on them, but you can't imagine that they would have been designed that you couldn't just push them open.
Good. Utilizing furniture and whatever, I want to get as near to the doors as possible.
Sure.
My plan is, depending on how the next few moments proceed, I'm just going to open the door.
All right.
Since, as far as I know, Jarik's either in the room and the rest of the team are just outside this door.
Right. Yes, Jarik's got to be in this room. Absolutely. That was
Totally.
I've got backup in here. It's fine.
I'm not. The Archon eventually slumps over onto his side, and the moment that happens, the Lord Archon then looks at the shimmering head and takes his old hand and places it on his desk. You can see that there is it looks like a crystal sphere of some kind. It was fairly unremarkable. I mean, the whole room was filled with trinkets and baubles from all over the world. He places his hand on that sphere, and the base next to his desk, a circular portal appears.
Okay.
Stairs going down. What are you doing?
I stand up and turn into a human being next to the doors.
Help, please.
Okay, Jarek, attack them.
I think this has gone on far enough. And I then turn and yank open the door.
Let's lock!
Far enough.
Lock!
And then the lock.
locks the
Damn.
door.
You see the key in the lock. All right.
The key hanging around the neck of the Lord Archon, obviously.
You say this has gone on long enough, and you grab and pull the doors. Would you give me an initiative check, please?
Everybody, or just
no, just Con at the moment. Oh boy, this dice. I got this dice in Finland. It rolls really lowly, which is good sometimes and very bad other times.
just roll it in a minute from now, please.
Yeah.
So that would be 4.
4.
Your dice is rolling lower than my dice.
All right. This was not the time.
This
for
was
to
not
do
the
these
time to
kinds
do
of
that.
My dice always do this to me.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a wisdom saving throw, if you please. If you have immunity to spells that are affecting the mind, now would be the time to declare that.
Well, Yorick is an elf, right? He's immunity against these things. I'm sure he's gonna be fine.
Yeah. He's golden.
I don't believe that
He's
is
invisible.
currently in my repertoire.
Oh shit.
So that would be 10.
Oh.
Oh God, your face. The mischievous face of imminent death, yes.
Oh. As you are reaching for the door, to use the word voice is insufficient. This massed choir of 1,000 voices simply orders you to stop. And you stop. That may be what's going on inside your head, but that voice is very, 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 very soft in comparison to the choir. The choir then says, "Come here." At which point you leave the door as much as you might not like. And then you very cautiously plod over to the table. The red eyes stare directly into your soul and see everything as far as you can see. And the Lord Archon looks you up and down and says, "I believe this is Captain Conodana of the Windswift. A very capable captain, although he was responsible for the affair at the Gam Spire. And within the city of Corsinii as well."
I was.
The eyes start to bore into you, and you start to relive all those memories of arriving at the Gam Spire, overhearing hushed conversations between Julii and dear old Griam, and the red cape, and just this wash of memories starts to move past you. You get the sense, though, that this figure isn't allowing you to relive happy times. It is simply sifting through your mind for whatever you might know, and it will inevitably get to the point where it sees what you saw inside those engines as well.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
During this operation, is he screaming in pain, which we hear, or is he having any possible ways of interacting with this dragon that is right now in his mind?
Unfortunately, he's absolutely quiet. It wouldn't work if there was screaming going on.
But we do have one little thing. Saketa's trying to make her way towards Blackstone and address.
Easy enough. Blackstone is standing there chatting up the head of logistics, she's trying to explain to you, "I am not logistics in terms of naval support. I am logistics for this building. If you need a stapler, I can help you get it."
Oh, I could like a stapler.
Mm.
Can I have a stapler?
Try and stay focused.
I am focused.
So what do you tell?
Is our third member visible at this point?
I think I would sort of mutter that you'd better stay invisible for now. Like, I cast a spell, you might as well use it.
All right.
But I can't see my feet. This is creepy.
I know,
Just imagine they're there.
Jackson, can I have a quiet word, please?
What?
Now.
Yes.
Now. Yes.
I'm
now?
sorry. I think well, I thought you might be helping us, but we got business to attend to. I'm gonna talk to some other people.
terribly sorry to bother you.
How do I say?
What?
This is with telepathy, by the way. While this all is going on, I'm gonna go down and see if I can hear anything through the door. I can't go in. There's runes everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yep, sure. Sorry.
Dwarvish runes.
Blackston.
Yes.
Blackston.
Yeah.
Con turned himself into a mouse and went in there.
Good.
No, I don't.
Yes, apparently.
As soon as he tells us anything, as soon as he gives us a sign, we'll intervene. As long.
Apparently, there's a bunch of magical runes in there, so Jorik didn't head inside. I think maybe I could contact Con and make sure.
If you can, of course, yeah.
Yes. I was looking for an in-character recent cast sending. I'm going to cast sending.
Clever. Very clever.
And send a short message of 25 words. I'm just going to go, Con, this is Adressai. Please tell me you're all right. You have about 25 words to answer.
How many words is that?
Yes, is it per syllable or is it like every time you inhale?
So, yes, all that you... Well, hang on a moment.
Also, sending is very beneficial in German because we can put more words into one word.
Swedish too.
Wow, okay.
Compound words for the win.
So Adressai, you get the distinct impression that you've reached Con's mind, but
no one is home.
Hello, you have reached Con's mind. I'm not home at the moment.
Please leave the message.
Extreme anguish, and you get this picture of currently it's some bloke that you haven't even met. And he's being disemboweled by a bunch of centaurs or something. That's the vision of Con. Apparently, he's reliving these horrific memories.
Cool. I just sort of tense up and my eyes go wide and I go, he's in a lot of pain right now and there's some centaurs in there disemboweling people.
Yeah, I don't need to hear much more. Can I roll initiative? I was uncomfortable with this entire thing, right? But we didn't add really like any concrete like.
No, this is the cue needed.
All right, so give me initiatives. And Con, you can roll one.
God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you have advantage, I'm afraid.
I have disadvantage.
Yeah,
on initiative?
That might actually help improve your scores because you're on 2d20, not just 1d20.
Well, he takes the lower one.
I'm hoping on statistical outcomes.
It's just like when you poker. Well, I have not matched colors, and that gives me 2 chances of a flush.
10.
You see? All right, so Con's on 10. Jorik?
19.
It's
19.
clear that my dice betray me when it matters.
Yeah, it would have been really good back there.
It's okay.
17.
17. Adressai?
16.
16. Blackston?
8.
Great. The freaking muscle goes last.
You're so upset about this that you're just like, oh no, what do I do?
Okay.
Smash! I'm using the time to put my helmet on. That's what's happening.
Powering up.
Like
You're doing your sort of Sailor Blackston transformation in the
I have the power! All right, so that's what we're doing. Bringing that into...
And I do want fan art of Sailor Blackston, everyone.
All right, so everyone is basically going to Blackston. And Blackstone is going very stone last. So no one can act until he's done anything or says something, which is in his turn. So
Well, saying is a free interaction,
correct.
right?
Correct.
Shit!
Shit!
That's what he shouts.
I think we need to get in there right now.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's go.
All right, then you start.
Let's go!
Blackstone, you're going
Wait.
first because I'm assuming no one else knows what Blackstone's going to do. So he's shouting.
I mean-
Well, I think all of us.
I mean, at least Adrusai knows what's up, right? I mean, she's
Yeah, I mean,
the
I
original.
told everyone what was
so
happening.
you're going to lead the charge. Is that what you're saying?
Jorg didn't hear it though because Jorg is
Correct.
at the door, so
Correct.
he doesn't know what's going on.
That's true.
All right. So Adrusai, you're going first. What you doing?
Right, I'm going to turn around. How far away is the door and these two golem things?
40 feet.
40 feet.
Yeah.
What's the range on this lightning staff thing?
You reckon that it was probably around about 40, 50 feet, no more than that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to move into about 35, maybe,
Those blue
and
scanning
just
lights.
step a little forward and then just,
Watch you.
just lightning staff one of them.
All
The one
right.
on the left.
It was bound to happen. The assault inside the headquarters of the
Goodbye.
The
has
one thing
Hey,
we said
they
we weren't
started
gonna
it.
do.
Hey, you could have done this at the ship, okay? This is up to you.
They started it. They attacked Khan.
nothing. Con started it. All right, so make your attack. You fire this blast at one of these guards. Are you
I'm
firing
actually-
at the door? You're firing at the Guardian, right?
As a
one-
guardian, yeah.
At the Guardian. All right. Okay. Make your attack.
Is
I'm
it
actually
just
an
what
agent.
kind of attack is this? Since I'm using a staff,
Range attack.
Range.
it's range. All right. Oh God, it's a natural one.
Oh wow.
Ah,
Of course it is.
Roll again.
bye.
Don't roll another one.
And they all died.
9.
9. All right. You step forward and you raise the staff and you go, "Mm!" And then you turn it to face the right way around.
Who was behind her?
The woman comes out the door. I got your stapler.
No, it just does not discharge. It does not.
Thank you.
The Guardians do not see your action as threatening. They do not know what you
No,
are.
that wasn't
No, because that was not threatening.
That wasn't threatening indeed.
So does everybody is on the in now? So can everybody act? without doing
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, Jarek, what are you doing?
Oh, this is going to be a really bad idea.
Oh yes, it was from
Oh,
the
yeah.
beginning.
This is all a bad idea. We're way
But that's
past
the problem with
that.
being a good guy. You don't just like murder and interrogate people with
Indeed.
just a hunch.
All right. I'm going to roll myself a die to see what I do. Oh, of course I do that. All right. So I'm going to jump up on one of those big guys and stab it in the head with...
Well, with your attack, you have advantage because you're invisible if they cannot see.
That's true.
If they cannot see you, but maybe
Yeah,
if
I'm
like
going to stab it in the head.
tremor sense or blind
Wait,
sight.
if it's a golem, is that?
So advantage.
Mechanical.
With advantage, that is 21 to hit.
That's a hit.
And it does... Where's that? Hello? Where is it? There. 1, 2.
Oh, fuck. This is all bad, man.
34
Yeah, I haven't acted yet.
damage.
34 damage.
Yeah.
Okie dokes. Saket.
So you said these golems wearing armor, right?
They're
are,
basically
but-
just armor. Yeah.
They are armor.
Like
Okay.
mechanical robot
I'm
things.
going to try to run up to the other one that Adrusai didn't hit.
She didn't hit
Right.
any.
Because I didn't hit anybody.
Okay, great. Right, the one that's Jorek's not stabbing. And
By the way, Jorik, you're invisible now.
You are visible, yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to try Shocking Grasp.
Yeah.
Make a touch attack.
Um,
Ooh, mechanical things might work well.
is 21.
That's a hit. Do your damage.
Okay, come on, D8, don't fail me now. Oh, crap. 8.
8 damage.
Yeah.
All right. You discharge your lightning into the creature. It sort of ripples across its metal arms. It doesn't seem to do very much. Blackston.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
I run.
It's like you're on your own.
So as they no, not that direction. So as I see it, both of them are in melee right now. Kind of. All right. So while I'll run at them, helmet on. Run through the door if I can.
Yeah, which way did they open it?
You're
Like
gonna try
in
and
or
run
out?
through the door. All right. So okay.
Yeah, I'll shoulder check the door open if can.
All right. You throw yourself at that door. Give me a strength check. You have advantage because you're running.
Athletics or strength?
And heavy armor.
Athletics?
Yeah.
Okay. 26 with advantage, 17 without.
You slam into that door and it swings open. The hinges oiled like a sweet, sweet thing that's been oiled with lots of very fresh oil. Courtesy of the logistics officer because she organized.
Yay! She's the real hero.
What? All right, so
you
I assume the slides open. I see the emperor just sitting there saying like, Darth Vader, you are mine now.
Right. Well, he's not saying that specifically, but yes, there's that general feeling.
All right, and the Lord Archon is moving down the stairs. Is that the situation?
That is exactly what you are seeing. The Lord Archon is moving down the stairs. Kneeling next to Con is the Archon. They're both staring blankly at this being who's.
So I have Hunter's Mark on the Archon, who's like they're like praising his new Lord and Emperor, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't know this net, but I have kind of a feeling that this with the impending pain going on. Now, I have Hunter's Mark on, which gives me advantage on Wisdom Perception or Wisdom Survival checks for that creature.
Right.
So would that give me kind of the inkling that there is like with him the same thing going wrong? Would I get any insight in? Can I disrupt them if I just like close their eyes? Is that enough or whatever? Like
you get an idea that.
Okay. Other question. Better question. This thing is looming over this illuminated table thing, right?
Correct.
Can I get to the table?
Yes, you can.
But with my double movement thing, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Blackstone smash!
Blackstone smash!
All right, so what I will do is I will drop the Hunter's Mark and I will cast Bless on myself. On, now that I can see him, Yorick, and on Con, because saving throw increased too.
All right.
And then I run, provoke from both these big dudes, and run towards the table, and then out of action points, because that's a thing.
Yeah.
I stand there a little bit
contemplating life.
So, but if I can do it, what I will do, because I'm metagaming the shit out of this now, can I also get the Lord Archon within reach of my weapon? If so, I have a long weapon. I have a reach weapon.
You do have a reach weapon. No, but he's 10 foot away from where you would need to be if you wanted to get to the table.
Okay, best movement then would be just to move up to him, at least. Because I have then the movement to move to the table.
All right.
Sorry. But I want to maximize this now.
No, that's fine. So you do that. The one creature hits an armor class of 22 as you run.
That's it.
Ow.
Ow.
By the way, if I need to charge, I cannot even cast the Bless now. I need to do this next round.
9 damage as it just slams into you as you try and rush past it.
Just gives you more momentum forwards.
Yeah.
So just if anybody notices, I cannot cast Bless right now. That's an action. I cannot do it right now. Just so.
Okay, because you had to dash. Gotcha. Con, you get to make another wisdom saving throw, please.
Sorry.
No advantage or anything like that.
Okay.
Oh. I didn't mention. I used my bonus action to ready the side blades to parry if they attack me.
My dice hate me today.
Oh no.
So
No.
yeah, there's that.
You are watching the murder of various.
Graham, right?
No, Graham. That was long ago. No, you've moved past Graveler to Jack. She has been
That's right.
killed. You're now flitting out into this weird space where suddenly there's Adresai and Saket and Yorick with you, and then you are heading towards the Drow territories. That's as far as you got. Now you continue to do so. However, with the arrival of Blackston in the room, there is a, how can I put it? There's just a surge of anger directed at you, and
You have allies? Screw you! How dare you!
you take 19 points of psychic damage.
Ow.
Well, if he goes down, he can probably no longer sift your mind.
Yeah, well, what happens is that there's this rage that just builds, and then this blast slams into you, sort of knocking you away and over. If you're alive, you're alive. I rolled. Okay, so the D10s are rolling 10s and 9s, by the way. The D20s,
cool.
the D20s are rolling 8s and 7s. Okay, so the Archon collapses next to you as well. He's unconscious, as far as you can see, and that takes us to the top of the new round, where we are now back into our regular initiatives. Yorick, you are going first.
Oh, it didn't attack me?
That last round was surprise. Well, it wasn't surprise for them because
All right.
but it was a round in which they could not act.
In that case, I'll use Step of a Dozen Places to teleport as far into the room as I can, as far away from these things.
Sure.
Oh,
Okay.
thanks.
Can you
Sorry.
get to either the Lord Archon or maybe Con?
Yes, I can get to both of them if they're within 100 feet.
I mean,
To whom are you?
How far away are they?
Con is about 30 foot away, and the Lord Archon is maybe 40 feet away and going downstairs.
Okay, I'll teleport to Con, and
okay, that's good.
All right.
I'm actually gonna just shake him.
Can you do your mind thing? To kind of
You start punching him to try and wake him up?
No, but I shake him and I kind of try to reach his mind because he looks glazed over. So I'm like, are you in there?
Hello?
Oh, I am a meat popsicle.
Fifth element.
Nice.
Find that gnome. He has some powder. I need it. All right. So, that's what you're shouting. The shields, these giant armored creatures, the one that has got Saket standing in front of it, it attacks. So Saket, it tries to hit you twice.
Oh, shit.
Remember your mage armor.
Oh, yeah, good.
So
Good
that
point.
would be 17.
Damage?
No, to hit.
Oh, yeah, well, that hits me.
All right. And the second attack is only 13.
Well, you should be good then, because AC is 13 plus
Yes,
your...
I'm all right on that one. So it hits me once.
All right.
But
So
Yay! Mage armor! That was useful!
12 damage as it slams into you.
Wow.
okay.
If
The
you're
one-
equal to AC, is that a hit or a miss?
That's it.
Hit.
It's it.
It's equal. The one standing next to you, which originally had a Jorik standing on it, it bows and enters into the room.
Oh, crap.
And moves over to you, Jorik, and tries to hit you twice.
Dodge, duck, dodge.
Natural 20.
Ow!
Ow! Don't die.
You said you rolled 8s with this thing. You lied.
The dice is now caught up.
No!
Caught up. All right, the second attack is only a 2, but that
Misses.
natural 20 was pretty high. So
If someone dies here and not at the Vampire Lord, I'm going to be so pissed off.
It's another Lord. Lord Archon.
True!
6 4s are 28. 28 damage.
Ow, ow, ow.
Ow!
Ow! Well, we have healing potions now.
lands,
Yes, take the
into you
heal.
with its attack.
No time to use them.
Yeah.
The healer is out of commission.
No
Are
time
you
to
still
use any.
standing?
Yeah, I'm still standing. I've got.
I'm
a
still
decent bunch of it
standing.
now.
We have the 2 healing potions on us. I'd just like to remind people.
I used to be
Everyone,
squishy, but
you have
now I'm actually
um,
feeling better.
gave you healing
At
potions.
that point, the Lord Archon obviously is seeing all of this unfolding, and well, that's a rather curious thing about players, isn't it? They do things you don't expect them to do. Lovely. Okay, so what he is going to do is he is going to do that.
Turn into a dragon.
The Lord
Don't give
Archon
ideas.
shouts, "Help! I'm under attack!"
Uh-oh.
That's what he shouts loudly. And then he is going to try and run down those stairs, which does provoke an attack from you, Blackson, because you said you moved over to him and you have reach.
Yes, I would like to use a smite.
Oh boy.
It's just heads gonna come off. Just roll over.
So I rolled a 25 to hit.
Nice.
Ooh.
I do 8 points of slashing damage.
Ooh.
I'm not
I
going to write
do-
it down because I know there's more coming.
I do another 15 points of radiant damage. If he's an undead or a fiend,
I think we're that lucky.
He's neither undead nor fiend.
well, he looks undead to me, but yeah.
Yes, not aged well. All right, so 23 damage in total. 8 plus
Yes.
15, right? 20.
Yes.
All right. You slam into the back of him, and you feel ribs breaking.
Good.
As you do so, he cries out in pain
Good.
and then continues down that stairwell as fast as he possibly can.
Good.
You hear him muttering something under his breath.
Not good.
Ow,
But
ow,
you're,
ow.
you're not entirely sure what that is. Saket, you're up next.
Right, so I'm still right next to one of the golems that has just hit
Yes.
me.
Yes.
Okay, I think I'm going to have to... okay, Adressai, are you at the other golem here?
The other golem had to
It's
run into the
with-
room.
Is
No,
with Yorick
bollocks.
right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hugging him.
Well, let's... okay, I'm going to try and hit the golem nearest me with lightning bolt.
All right.
Lightning. Good that lightning bolt doesn't reflect from surfaces anymore. Ugh.
Yeah.
That's always fun inside like dungeon-like areas.
That's a 19 for the hit.
That's a hit. Do damage.
Lightning bolt. Oh, I thought lightning
Okay, this could take me some time.
because lightning bolt doesn't need to hit roll, right? You know this.
Yeah, I think it's like an
Area attack. It's a save.
yeah.
It hit nonetheless. I thought it was the lightning rod. All right, lightning bolt doesn't matter. It's dex savers with a -1, so it's unlikely to fall.
29 damage. Please knock him out.
Can
Can?
it's okay.
It takes the damage. It sort of jolts around a little bit, but remains standing. That blue scan is now fixed directly upon you, Saket, as it starts to bear down upon you.
Can I still move as my bonus
Yes,
action?
well, it's a normal
Movement
action.
action,
Move,
but yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start running into the room.
If you run away from it, it will get a chance to hit you.
Okay. Decisions. The rest of the time are not her forte. Wait, we're still in the room with the logistics lady.
No.
She's down the corridor. No, you're in the corridor.
She's looking out of a bureau right now, like, what's going on?
I'm like,
Killing and lightning.
She's like, I'm getting attacked from the Lord Archon.
No, don't worry about the Lord Archon.
Don't get help. Because it's us first.
No, but we need help.
You look really bad right now.
If you knew the situation, you'd know that we need help. We need help.
Oh, boy.
So that's what you're calling out. We need help.
Yeah, we need help. The Lord Archdeacon is being attacked by his golems.
Oh God. Please don't
You
go.
realize that
Well, it sort of works.
be believed by anyone actually looking down the passageway because the golems are currently beating down upon you and Jorik.
Yeah, well, because we tried to defend the Hardeacon.
Yeah.
That's what she
exactly
said.
what we're doing.
Sure. Let's see if anybody believes. No. No.
As you see in the background, Blackston stabbing the Lord Archon.
All right. So moving on. Adversai, what are they doing?
They are going to attempt to shoot the golem next to Saket.
All right. Make your attack.
Please actually hit this time. Oh, natural 20.
Nice.
Dice is making up for last time.
Yep.
Sorry,
Oh,
Some
no.
good damage in there.
You roll
See what
another.
it actually does.
I roll another one.
Yep.
3,
Normal damage.
which is
Normal damage.
6d10.
60-10.
Yeah.
Goodness. All right, I'm just gonna get 2 of them. I have 3 of them.
10d6, not 60-10, but
Was it 10d6? Yeah.
it was 10d6.
Correct.
What's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
All
even
right,
better than
so-
mine.
Also is a d6.
Someone
out.
add these up then.
I remember
10,
it being 6d10.
You're rolling d6.
6. Yes,
How could you roll a 10 on a d6?
because I rolled 2 of them at once.
Oh.
I roll 2 of them at a time.
Sneaky.
So
Okay.
that's 10 plus 6
She's trying to confuse
plus
you.
10 plus 2 plus 10.
So
38.
38.
Yes.
Into
Could
the
be.
one that Saketa's fighting or to the one that's beating
Yes,
down on
Saket.
Ticket.
All right, 38 into that one. All right. It explodes in a shower of bits and armor in all different directions. Leaving
Mental note to self. That's going to take over 50 hits.
And then I want to sort of run into the room. Maybe
Alright.
try to start closing the doors behind us as well.
Get help!
Con, what are you doing?
Saving?
I don't make your saving throw, I so presume.
No, you're free. You're alive. You're
Right.
you're free of the influence. You.
Nice.
That's what the psychic damage was. It was just attacking you as a final
Oh, I see.
curse you type of.
I thought that was just all part of the joy.
It's part of the plan!
Well, if you want to go back to it,
No.
and
Can I get the
Part of
full
these.
treatment, please?
That's fine.
Destroy the red eyes. Destroy the table.
Well, no, I guess if I'm coming to, the first thing I'm going to see is Jorik and a golem
yes,
beating on each other, right?
Yeah, you
standing
can see
right-
me running after the Lord Archon.
I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on the golem.
Ooh.
If that's
It's magic effects. It's not... doesn't work on magic items and such.
Well, it says creature, object, or magical
You
effect.
can cast it on, but it's for magic effects on the creature.
there is something that you could do to do it, but you don't know about its existence. You haven't seen it, so I'm going to say yes. You don't think it's going to affect the actual creature itself.
Wolf.
It's a good idea, but
What good is this spell? God damn it. There goes
Different
that plan.
applications.
Oh, I just get to my feet and cast Chalet on my staff and bludgeon the golem with it. This wonderful ram's head staff I now own.
that's right. What
As
was
it breaks. Shit!
Yeah,
Because that's how the day's going so far.
probably. 18 to hit.
Nice. That's good.
18 to hit? That's a hit. 2 damage.
10.
What weapon do you want this to be as you swing it?
What?
Ooh.
As you're
Just pick
swinging
one.
the staff, what weapon do you have in mind when you swing it? Staff.
Probably a mace.
It has transformed into a mace. You can roll an additional 1d4 damage.
Nice.
Sweet. So that brings, what was that, 14 then?
14 damage. All right, you slam into it.
Good
And,
grief.
you notice as this mace, the way the mace is looking, the head of that elk has transformed into those wonderful blades that actually make up the head of a mace. As it slams into the golem, there is this discharge of green. It almost looks like leaves, autumn leaves blowing off of the impact site where the mace has hit the creature. That is Con Blackston.
I'm going after the Lord Archon now.
All
Okay,
right.
so before I do this question, like he muttered stuff, do I still perceive him running down the stairs? Do I still hear him or whatnot? Or is he just gone?
Yes, you do. No, you definitely.
All right. And I'm going after the Archon because I think they are capable people. They have this under control.
We're capable people. We have this under control. I love that.
Everything is fine. Everything is under control.
This is fine.
Everything is fine.
So when so I'm running after him, right?
Yes.
Do I catch up with him?
So he is moving. All right. Firstly, the stairs that are going down.
Right.
Realize that these stairs, there is something very unusual about them. And
Of
at
course.
first, you're not entirely sure what's going on, but you realize that as you're descending down these steps, the pressure in your ears is definitely palpable, and you realize that these are every step you take, you're dropping maybe 20 or 30 feet,
All right.
even though you're just walking down a normal set of stairs.
Right. I'm going down, 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 down.
Correct. And it's getting cooler and cooler and cooler until eventually and it's a spiral. It's quite a tight spiral. So
Yes.
your halberd at the moment becomes a bit unwieldy in this narrow space. But
Yeah, if it's a problem, I drop it. Like, if it's a problem, I drop it.
all right.
I get my sword out.
All right. You reckon that that's probably going to be a safer bet if you have to
Sure,
fight
done.
in this passageway?
I throw my helmet away and then I run after him. Because then if it's so tight, I would have seen this
Yes.
before I go down, right?
Not a problem whatsoever. So you catch up with him, or
Good.
you get to see the back of him as he's going around. You're going around. You're
Good.
young.
Bonus action hunter's mark on him.
You're spry. You can.
Fuck this person in particular.
Beg your pardon?
I say, fuck him in particular.
All right. Well, what are you doing? You catch up to his back.
Yeah, murder him.
Oh my god.
All right. Make your attack.
25, 20.
Oh my god.
Blackston, the closet murder hobo.
He
No shit, man.
has, I think, justification in terms of what he saw. All right. So you hit the 20. That's a hit. Do damage.
Okay, first hit does 20 plus. 10 plus. 17. 27, first attack. Second attack. 8 plus. Another 15. So 23, right?
23. Your blade, is it blessed in any way? Is it considered a magical item?
No,
All right.
but the damage is magical from the divine smite, right?
Yes. And that was 23, right?
15 plus 17, so
28.
15 plus 17 is 32.
32. All right.
And 18 points of non-magical damage.
Right. You realize that as you are slashing
Plus,
into him, plus more.
yes, Hunter's Mark, that's why I did it.
Uh-huh.
And I'll just roll this because it doesn't roll automatically. Plus another 6, plus another 5. It's the 6.
So another 11.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You notice as you're slashing into him, your blade itself isn't actually connecting with him. There's like this green shimmering oil over his skin, if you like.
Right.
But your actual energy is discharging, and that seems to be racking him with quite a lot of pain. The
Good.
damage you've dealt, you can see blood is is leaking out of his nose. And his ears, he seems to have taken quite a lot of damage, as a matter of fact.
Good.
From that little assault of yours. Back to top of the round, and this takes us to Charlie.
I am going to shoot this thing that is trying to hit me in the face.
Sure. It's a good call.
And let's see. It's disadvantage in melee range, right?
Yep.
Ranged attacks usually do it if you don't have like enough feet or so to counteract.
Yeah, because I don't have nomadic arrow focus right now, so I can't. So let's see. With disadvantage, that's still 22 to hit.
Your damage.
My damage is 8 physical. Plus... No, 13 physical.
Sure.
Plus 28 psychic.
You are really pressing my maths. Okay.
Sorry.
You, I hope that's the right number. You slam into this creature. It doesn't seem to be particularly fazed by that. It will counter attack. It will try and hit you twice. First attack hits an armor class of 26, which I'm assuming is a hit.
That is definitely a hit. Yes.
What happens when you roll that number? And the next one is a natural 1, chased up by a 3. So it's a normal miss. But the first one hits you for 9 damage.
7. Okay. Ow.
All right, as it slams into you, you can hear coming down the corridor, Fiss and Golfin, they're screaming and shouting that everyone should just stop. In the name of the order, just stop. Their hands are illuminated, by the way, as they are screaming this running down the passage.
They're not dragons.
I think it is
This was humorous. This wasn't serious.
We're not dragons. We're here to stop the dragons.
You idiots.
You're idiots. All right, so that's what happens there. Blackstone.
Here's a question, though. Is that head still showing on the table?
No.
Damn
At
it.
the moment that it released Con, it vanished. All right, so Blackstone.
Yes.
Okay, hang on.
I hope that kill him right then and there, but that didn't work. So
that unfortunately did not work. So he turns around. And
yes.
I have to check up on this because I haven't used things like this in quite
Power
some
of death.
time. Yeah. That would be a fun spell to use right now, wouldn't it?
Not against me.
Not against you? You have more than 100 hit points?
Sure. It's 50, right? I think it's 50, isn't it?
100.
Oh, well then, yeah, and die. But,
Okay. It turns around and when you see, well, he turns
Interesting.
around. Sorry.
oh, okay.
He turns around and he discharges this bolt of black energy directly at you. Would you please give me? I just need to double check that it's not a dexterity saving throw. I don't want to rob you of that advantage.
Yeah, well.
I did not.
Proficiencies are wisdom and charisma as a paladin, so.
Yes, that's what it usually is.
Charisma. Give me a charisma save, that would be good.
Dexterity saving throw.
Dex. Alright. Save 25, natural 20.
Natural
Ooh.
20. On a failed save, the target takes that much damage instead. Okay, I'm just going to calculate this. That bolt, you dodge to the side, but as you do so, it seems to arc out tendrils towards you.
20. I needed the 25 on the hit, man. That would have been great. Because
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh.
Okay, you take 56 points of damage.
Ow! I'm down. I have 53.
All right. As this bolt Just
Yeah.
How? And that's like half damage.
that's half damage.
Yep.
All
I'm
right.
out.
So that's what happens in the passageway. Saket.
Yeah. Hi.
Oh, yeah, she-
Doing there's still that giant golem, but now there's Golfin and Vis running towards you.
Great reinforcements. We need help. We need
You
help.
are under arrest, says Golfin.
No,
Close the door!
no,
Close the door!
Says,
close. We need to talk. Close the door behind you. We've got problems. Big
they
problems.
are not interested in listening, and you know yourself, if you had encountered people who'd been identified,
Oh, I would have murdered myself.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
their
bollocks.
hands are glowing, and they're holding their hands up. They would expect you, along with the Emperor of the Elves, to bow and kneel at this point.
Saket, close the door!
Okay, I'm closing the door.
You try and pull the doors shut?
I'm not very strong.
No, but that's okay. They're hinged. They're not massively
Isn't they're well oiled too?
and they are well oiled. All right, so you pull those doors shut, but without being able to lock them, they're just going to be able to push them open.
Okay, is there like a piece of wood or something, or a chair that I can like wedge
There's
under the
chairs
door
and things,
handles?
Sure, there's the giant armor monster that's busy beating the snot out of Jorik, but sure.
Okay, well, I'm just going to save our skins for now. So I'm just going to find either one or two chairs,
Sure.
door handles.
Absolutely. You sort of ram them in there. It's nice deep carpeting, so it's not moving. That's what you do. Adressai?
This magical table thing. I had a moment to see it through the open door, right?
The form itself?
Yeah.
You saw some green, some blue energy flash. That was it.
All right. What can I tell about the table or the portal that the person has disappeared into?
Well, there's the table, and then there's stairs going down. When I said portal, it's not a magical portal. Sorry.
All right, just like a okay.
The spiral staircase opened up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're just looking at the table?
Yeah.
Okay, give me an Arcana check, if you please.
I can do this. That is 15.
This looks to be as if there is some kind of divination magic that's being cast upon or is inscribed in this table. You would imagine that it would allow you to communicate with someone over quite a substantial distance. It's fairly old in design, but the inscriptions, the runic inscriptions, are in Elvish.
Which I speak.
Yeah, and they literally, it is communicating.
All right, just
Furniture, basically, yes.
yeah, okay.
Correct.
How far away is the staircase? Because I want to rush down after Blackstone.
Sorry, how far is the staircase? 10 feet?
10 feet. All right, no, I'm going to start running down then.
Okie dokes, you start running down, not a problem. That leaves us from Adressai, we then go to Con. Giant metal golem busy beating
Yes,
Jorik to
well.
a pulp. Saket propping the door and Adressai running down the staircase.
It's all gone tits up, hasn't it? I attempt to panel the golem some more.
Attack.
16.
16. Although you slam into it, the mace, it doesn't seem to do much damage. It doesn't seem to hit. The armor is designed to absorb it by the looks of things. You doing anything else?
No, that's fairly all-consuming task, really.
All right. Blackstone, are you dying or are you on 0?
No, I'm at -3. So my question is, was it disintegration? Because it felt like disintegration to me.
It was a disintegrate spell, yes.
Then I'm done. Then when she comes with to where I'm at, I'm not even there anymore.
Why? It only says if you
No.
fail.
If the damage reduced the target to 0 hit points, which it did, it disintegrated.
Ah.
I'm just gone.
Holy crap!
That's not funny.
That's,
Ouch.
That's interesting. That's
If you
very
fail,
bad.
if you fail the save, you're just dead. If you make the save, you have the 10d6 plus 40,
correct.
and then if you're to 0, then you're still dead. So I'm dead. I don't need to make saves because I'm gone.
Oh, I thought it was
My equipment is gone, so I guess maybe the helmet would still be there, but I mean that's up to you if the helmet is gone too.
right. Well, they'll have to find. They'll have to see. We will have to see. All right. So Blackstone doesn't seem to be there. Back to top of the round. These steel golems. Well, this steel golem. It tries to smash you again, Jorik, because I'm afraid Connor's not making an impression upon it.
Okay.
So Jorik, the first attack hits an armor class of 14.
It's a miss.
Second attack hits an armor class of 23.
That's a hit.
4.
Just.
And the adventures of the Windswift come to an end.
Yep, this is the end.
14 damage.
I mean,
14 damage.
14 damage.
We have a
Oh,
lot
God.
of health points.
I'm down. I
Jorik
have 43
drops.
hit points and 51 damage. So, yep, I'm at minus what? 9?
All right, you are down. So you get to make your first death save.
All right. 16.
All right,
let's go.
one save. Saket. Jorik turns into a bloody red mist, collapsing to the floor.
Oh my
Ow.
god.
The doors are being bashed upon from outside by the various captains of the Order, who currently believe you are attacking the Lord Archon.
Dragons. There are dragons in section 13. Dragons!
All right.
I'm not acting. What am I going to do here? Where's Adricite? She's run up down the stairs, hasn't she?
Disappeared.
Yeah.
All that's left standing is you and Con and this metal creature.
Oh, fuck, Con. This is not looking pretty.
Fuck Con.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I'm turning you guys in.
Great.
What you doing?
Get it?
Just shoot the damn thing.
I'm shooting it.
With
Okay,
what?
firing off another lightning bolt.
It gets to make a dexterity save this time around. I thought you were using
Another 21 on the attack.
You don't roll attack for lightning bolt.
Well, I don't.
No, it fails its dexterity saving throw, and that's
Oh,
when you
yes.
take damage.
Damage.
Do your damage.
Oh.
I'm going to take more d6s out of this. 29 damage.
29 damage.
I suppose Adricite dropped the lightning thingy. did she?
Stutters for a few moments, and then it turns and looks directly at
Uh-oh.
you, Saket. Con,
Con hit it.
sorry, Adricite, you're running down the stairs. You
Yeah.
come across a helmet.
Helmet and sort of scorch marks, I assume.
Dust. Just dust.
I do not
There
have
is
time
a
to think
helmet
about
lying
that.
on the ground that has been abandoned. And
Don't
then-
touch the helmet.
No, I'm not touching the helmet. I think Adricite does not have time to think about the implications of that, and sort of I will think about that later. Right now, they have to keep running downwards, sort of the staff as ready as they can.
Okay. You get to the bottom of the stairs. As you do so, would you please give me a wisdom saving throw? I think it's a wisdom saving throw. Let me just make absolutely sure.
Dexterity. It was dexterity.
Yeah. No, that was for the spell.
Because if someone is casting a spell at me, I have counter spell in mind.
Not casting a spell at you.
All right.
Yes, it is a wisdom saving throw against fear.
Oh God. 7.
7. As
I'm
you
not gonna
come
say it,
rushing
Joe.
down the stairs, you see the Lord Archon opening up a door in the side of this large cavern. and he's probably about, say, 40 feet away from you, so he's quite close. You can see that he's bleeding badly, and he's holding in his internal organs as he's trying to make his way through this door. But that is absolutely overshadowed by this magnificent, massive, scaly head looking directly at you. And we'll be back next week when the adventure continues.
Little dragon in the center.
Oh my god!
Jonathan, I talked with you about this before the session. Exactly
There we
this.
are. Thank you for watching, and, well, who knows what's going to happen next week? I certainly don't.
We're all dead.
Well, who knows what?
Yeah, we're all dead.
If you had stay for the review afterwards, thank you, and goodbye. For those of you staying with the review, D6 will tell us what's going to happen next. I'm up first, which is unusual. I am not even going to question your interpretation of disintegration there, Simon, because I
That's what it says.
It is the spell that he had. And you know,
It's
the
fine.
reason why he had it was because I did a video on how to destroy castles. Disintegrate came up trumps as one of the major castle destroying spells.
You don't need to say it. Like, I ran after the Lord Archon. I know what I was doing. It's fine.
It's only a level 6 spell, which is what's so.
Yeah, we are level 6.
Yeah, well, no, absolutely. But he is the Lord
It's
Archon,
fine.
and he
No,
is.
no, it's.
very helpful.
I'm not complaining. I'm
No,
really
no,
not.
no. I understand. I'm just sort of saying it's so weird how these things kind of align, and it's like, well, he's throwing disintegrate because my notes are still on my table for the best things to destroy a castle. So it was either disintegrate or earthquake, and earthquake didn't make any sense. So yes, so Blackston has died, but now I also believe with disintegrate there is nothing to resurrect.
I mean, wish, but
Well, sure,
yeah.
sure.
Oh my
There is
God.
absolutely-
Resurrection magic doesn't work. It's
The
both
No.
things.
flying spheres thing.
And
There's
Jory
no
can
flying.
resurrect, but he needs a body for that.
No, there's nothing left. You can just resurrect with. I just read the spell because I wanted to make sure as well.
Yes.
But it's because I was like, oh yeah, I made the save. I took more than 50 damage. That's disintegrate because I know the spells, right? I mean,
Right. Right.
yeah. So
right.
let me double check, but I'm pretty sure. It is.
Correct.
I'll roll a new character then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill you now. Ah. True
I mean,
resurrection
the
or
hand
wish.
is down.
True resurrection or wish are the two things that work.
True resurrection or wish. So there is an opportunity there for true resurrection.
Sure, the one person who attacked the Lord Archon is gonna get true resurrected.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you're just going to get out of this
Got that spell?
situation.
You
Yeah,
probably
well-
got it lightly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, we'll have to see. Of course, the two guardians, they just take a beating. They don't do a huge amount of damage, but
Yeah, what I would have used for the Guardians, by the way, I would have used the Shield Guardians, which take half the damage for the Mage, which are,
that
if
is
you have like,
exactly what I'm using.
Nice.
The shield guardians. So, but it's only if they're within
Yes.
5 feet of him. So,
yes.
Correct. He is definitely bloodied and definitely wounded.
Yeah, well, I would have had an extra attack with my halberd if I could have used it down there, but
Yeah, that spiral staircase is there's.
no, it's fine. Makes sense. I'm not complaining. Absolutely makes sense.
All right, so that was from my side of things. It was just curious to see that what happens when the dungeon master actually reads the rules and kind of looks at spells, going, "Well, that's a pretty damn useful spell." So
It will kill your players instantly.
it will
Yeah.
kill your players instantly.
Well, I had 3. If it's 3 hit points less damage, then I'm not dead, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it was close.
It was really close.
And if I survive, he's probably dead. But
Yes,
that's how it goes.
without a doubt. Jorik, what was your impression of this episode of Doom?
Yeah, honestly, I got the sense that this is going to hell already back at the boat when the Lord Archon decided we have to go back to my chambers. It was like, okay, we're fucked.
Going into the lion's den, yeah. Sure.
So I've been carrying this sense of dread the whole way, but you never know what's going to happen. So I still try to play it careful with not walking into a room full of magical glowing runes. It's like, I should probably not walk in here invisible because I'm just going to, appear.
Hmm.
And then Khan decided to go in anyway.
Well,
But I mean, it was a fun episode. We got to do a lot. We really had to start thinking. We can't just treat this as any combat because this is either we win or we're dead. This is over.
Yeah.
There are some major ramifications to having attacked the Lord Archon in the headquarters of the Order of the Hastari.
Pretty much, yes.
No.
So we were probably screwed either way, but yeah. I'm surprised I'm still alive. I'm down, but
still,
alive.
yes.
Well, you've got
mine
one
isn't
life
so
far.
left. You've still got 2 more saves to make, mate. You're not in the clear yet.
Yeah, so I'm technically still alive.
There is a druid there with healing spells. Hopefully we can.
Yeah,
We'll see
well,
what
hopefully
happens.
the druid's still standing. He's been taking a bit of a... No one's hit the druid yet.
I was actually surprised at
But it's
how.
like-
I mean, it felt like one of those guardians went down really easily, and the other one just refuses to
I
die.
got
I
crit
was hit by 2 lightning bolts.
Yeah.
They also have regeneration,
And the shock
which is a bit of a trick.
Ah,
So there is that too.
we'll see where it goes. This is going to be interesting.
Uh-huh. Oh, God.
Blackston, you seem to be kind of forced. Your hand was a bit forced there, wasn't it?
I don't have a hand anymore, so
No.
I don't know. Well, okay, so for what, like, I mean, obviously it would have been better maybe just to talk with the Lord Archon right then and there before everything went out of control, because, I mean, as a player and even as the character probably saw this coming a mile away. But even though, like, that's what I said, like, he is a good person, like, he cannot just, like, on a hunch, like, do these kinds of things. So you need, like, some actual evidence to then start the move. Yeah, but, like, I completely agree with Tobias that, like, oh, fuck. Sure, talk with this person and everything will go right. That's not happening. So, and obviously, I also know as a player, kind of that everything going fine doesn't really make sense either way, right? So, so yeah, kind of saw this coming. Obviously, being disintegrated is like, well, it happens. I mean,
No, it happens. That's a T-shirt. Disintegrate. It happens. I feel over it.
yeah, I mean, it's one of those spells that can really ruin the person's day, and I happened to run into like somebody who could cast it. It's not. There's also not much you can do to save yourself. So
Right.
that's just how the cookie crumbled, or the Blackston crumbled.
Oh, God.
It is a sad day for Blackston. It is. It really is a sad day. I had hoped to have seen him become the champion of Brax.
Well,
maybe
for what it's worth,
up in a vial.
for what it's worth, I think this is exactly how he would want to die, running after like a
A dragon trader.
evil conspirator in this case, and doing his best to stop it. I mean, if he does, he does. And also one thing that is, I think, fairly something that shouldn't be forgotten in a world where gods actually exist, and afterlife we know exists.
Yes.
Dying isn't such a dreadful thing, at least for Blackston, that is,
Right.
because like, well, let's move on to the next adventure then, or the next chapter of my soul's life. Yeah, sucks for me because I can't play him anymore because it was fun, but
Sure.
not the
sure.
first character that
I
never
think
died.
it's a very good way of looking at it, especially thinking that he was part of the worshipper of Brax. He died doing what a Braxian would do.
Yeah.
He was trying to mete out justice and in combat. So quite arguably, he gets to go and sit on the tables and experience Braxian afterlife. You're quite right. Quite right. Adressine?
Oh, this like we had so much fun just joking around and laughing and stuff in the first 4/5 or something, and then it just got really, really dark, and now I feel all sad. And I'm just like, no. No,
You
it
can
was.
distribute some of your powders, Con. We can.
Yes, I think so. We're gonna have to take some powders after this. No, it was a lot of fun, and I think that I'm glad things went the way it did, because I think that like there's no real way that things could not, as Simon said, there's no real way that things could have gone not horribly at this point, because things were just heading to a horrifying point here. And like we couldn't have not followed them, and we couldn't have not tried to get inside, and we couldn't have not gone after Con when he started like screaming in pain, and like it was like, I think looking back and looking at our characters and stuff, I think we would have done exactly the same if we'd known where it would have led.
Yeah, it was a railroad by character motivation, basically.
Yeah,
I
I had
think
no
so.
control over where you people were going. I was like, you're
No.
going what? You're going to do what? You
Neither
went-
had we.
All right.
What did you expect us to do, honestly?
Well, there are many outcomes that one could have chosen, like, not necessarily going into the actual headquarters and blowing up the leader of the headquarters in the headquarters space with lots of witnesses that you'd spoken to prove that you were there at the time of the attack. But this is the beauty of it, is, as you say, there was a compulsion to act and that you wouldn't do it differently. And I think that's important. I think that's
We
critical.
do have our own Archon, and hopefully I will live long enough to send
Well,
the...
maybe
Oh
just
god,
a-
I just physically
Might
saw a
scramble
dragon.
up.
Blunt.
So that ours can light up as well after Adversai sees the face of a dragon for the second time. Not in this timeline, but
Right.
hopefully I won't be inhaled this time.
I think the title of this episode should be "Con, you have an ointment for that?"
But yeah.
Well, that was pretty intense for everybody. So, yeah, poor Saket. I don't know how. Well, number one, she doesn't know that Blackstone has disintegrated yet. She just knows that her and Con are the last two people standing in that room, and Adversai has disappeared somewhere, and Jorik's a bloody mess on the floor. Yeah, this is looking really good for Saket. I mean, she could bring up a lot of food in a minute. It's going to be interesting in the next episode because Con and I are going to have to try and defeat this villain on our own somehow, while shouting at the people behind the door that they need to go investigate Section 13 because
Go
dragons.
investigate other people. We're
No! Across the world!
We're busy killing the Lord Archon. Go.
Do something else.
We're killing him because he's a traitor. Okay, he's a traitor.
Yeah, I believe that's what the
and
Hastari were.
I'm kind of hoping that if Adversai can at least run back to tell us this is Dragon's head, but I can also tell them that there's
Oh,
a
she's
dragon
coming back running, screaming, "There's a dragon in the cellar."
That's right. All right, and Con, the magnificent mouse.
I'm really in chaos. My work here is done.
Drops potion and leaves.
Too late for that retirement now, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess like with
I'm too old for this shit.
it doesn't look great, but of course there's lots he doesn't know yet, so it's even worse than he realizes.
Right.
Trying to rescue Jorik from the golem. He's probably not even fully aware that there's an order of beating down the door, trying to arrest him. Crazy episode, actually. I mean, we always seem to end up doing the one thing we start off saying we absolutely won't do.
It always
Which is
ends
go
up there.
straight to the headquarters and attack the Lord Archon. And then we went straight to the headquarters. But
I
as
mean, it was on the table for Blackstone anyways.
well, yeah. But yeah, as Adversai Jenny says, there was a bit of narrative inevitability about that. Because if we let our Lord Archon disappear with our Archon, then they would get away. And
Yeah, same goes for me running after him. I mean, you cannot let him get away.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
conspiracy would shut down itself even more secretly and would be even harder to. They'd probably catch on to us, and there was no real choice. It was do it now, or probably
Die.
never do it. Then
Or
again,
die trying, right?
yeah, maybe I should have followed him down the spiral before said. In terms of reviewing player activity in the session, I think I might have jumped the gun a bit on the whole turning into a person and opening the doors. But then again, I was like trying to see it through Con's eyes, and Con would have been horrified by what he was seeing. you know. So it kind of felt, from a character perspective, that was the right thing to do. And then afterwards, as a player, I kind of thought the strategic thing would have been to stay a mouse and follow him down the stairs. But yeah, anyway, there you go.
We can never look back and go, well, we should have done this, we should have done that, can we? I mean, it's always easier once you know what's going to happen to do that. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Do you have any passing final comments to dear Blackston, our captain who has been with us since the beginning, who has now succumbed to the evil incantations of this grand Lord Archon? And what of the dragon beneath the city of Qwethlan? Who knows? We'll find out next week when the adventures of the Windswift continue. Goodbye.